when that started, I was just I just graduated college. And so I was nervous because I had been working as an actor professionally since I was a kid, but my mom built it into my head. She's like, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Because, you know, she comes from a very Asian, she's Vietnamese, so the background is very like, you need to do something that's guaranteed structure, guaranteed moneymaker, etc. And so I taught theater arts at the middle school level.
You were a teacher for a while.
For 2 years.
I didn't know that.
2 years. But I couldn't do it because the schedule was, I was still going on set. I was still doing shows. I was still doing, at the same time as doing a full-time teaching thing. And so like I felt so bad for the kids because there was one time, so these kids would have to do performances and things like that. And I would take the curriculum because if you did another subject, the curriculum's handed to you and you kind of do the worksheets, but with theater, there's no curriculum. And so like I created this curriculum and it was aspects of performance, aspects of, you know, history, historical knowledge, etc. But I was so tired when I was doing it that I would tell the kids, I go, okay, here we go, you're gonna perform, and I go, don't put me to sleep. And I would say, let's see what you got. And so I would sit there, and if they were boring, they'd look back and I'm like, and I didn't mean to, and I was like, you put me to sleep. And I'd be like, yeah, no. But I realized that I needed to pick one or the other, and so in voiceover, and I actually remember the exact moment when I decided to go voiceover full time because Suzuka came along, and I was in the booth all the time because it was like Suzuka, then it was all these other shows, and it was becoming like a full-time thing. And so I was at a crossroads. I was like, do I go down the route of teaching where it's guaranteed I'm going to have a job as long as I want it, health insurance, retirement, blah, 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 or do I go down this road that's acting and it's in the industry that I've been working in, just a different aspect, don't know what's going to happen to it, have no idea what's going to happen. I was walking down the hallway in between periods, and I saw a teacher who'd been there for 30 years walking down. I remember what he was wearing, and I remember the look on his face. He was looking down at the ground, walking, and he just looked so beaten down.
No.
And so I knew at that point, I was like, I'm not going to be that guy.
It was like a sign.
Yeah.
It was like you got this sign in the hallway.
Yeah, I knew that I wasn't going to be that guy. Now, that's not to say that you personally should be like, oh, well, I've got this great thing over here, but, you know, fuck that, I need to go over here. No, it's not to say that. It's not, that's what worked for me. So I'm not saying destroy the structure in your life and go pursue this other thing, because that was a big gamble. I had no clue how it was going to turn out. So just luckily for me it worked out in my life, but it doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen to everybody. I mean, you see people that, and I think that's an important distinction, because you see people like on American Idol or something like that, and they get up there to sing and they are horrible. Like, I'm talking in that audition process.
Yeah.
And they tell the judges, they go, I've been told my whole life I'm a great singer and I'm a da-da-da-da-da, and I deserve that ticket to go to Hollywood. And I would get mad at the people that have been telling them that. Because I think there's a balance of supporting, and then there's a balance of like, sweetie, we need to take the dream goggles off. We need to look at something else. Because, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to walk out that door and go be a professional NFL player tomorrow. As much as I believe in it, as much as I want to do it, it's not going to happen. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to believe in my dreams, but I make them realistic. Because really, honestly, there's about 3 or 4 things that a human being is going to do well in life. Because you have a lot of people that, because what ends up happening is when they're told, you could be great at anything, you could do blah, 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 and this and that, da, da, da. To a certain extent, that's true. There should be a little footnote at the bottom of that report. Because then what happens is you wind up with some people that, not people in this room necessarily, I'm not saying that. Some people that go to college, they don't know what they want to do. So then they become an 8-year graduate, not a doctor, but because they don't know what they want to do. And they're looking around and they're lost because they can't figure out, like, do I like this? Do I like this? I don't know, because you've been told your whole life you can do anything you want to do. And honestly, that's not true. You can't do anything you want to do. You can do a lot, but I'm not going to be a professional bodybuilder. I'm not going to be a football player. I'm not going to be a rocket scientist. I'm not going to be a neurosurgeon. But Within the realm of my skill set, I'm gonna be the master of that MFing zone. In the realm of entertainment, in the realm of my skill set within voiceover and acting and producing and directing, I'm gonna be the best I can be. So do you see the difference? It's not a matter of like, you can't do anything and don't listen to people that believe in you and encourage you. It's not that at all. It's hone it into, and really focus it into a brilliant light. For example, if we turned on all the lights in this room, it would illuminate this room. But if we hone that light through a magnifying glass into one solid point, it'll burn a hole in this table. Because it's gonna make that an intense light. So that's why when I hear people on panels, our fellow voice actors say, if you believe in voice acting and you believe that's what you need to do, then you need to give up everything and go do that, is essentially what they're saying. I mean, essentially it's what they're saying. They're saying like, just believe in yourself and da-da-da-da-da. There are footnotes. There are little things that you gotta take into consideration. That's why I'm very hesitant about giving voice acting tips, because it's like, I don't need you failing or something happening and then you come blame me. And then
Todd Haberkorn told me this.
And then I'm on your kill list. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what I mean. It's like, I am fully all about supporting people that want to go do things and do certain things in life, because there are times when everyone's telling you, no, don't go do that, and you go do that and you rock it. There are times for that. But I feel like there are also times where we are afraid to give positive, constructive criticism about someone's skill set or their level of stuff. And then they pursue this and they're wondering, like, why hasn't this happened yet? Why am I not hanging out with Kanye and the Kardashians? You know what I mean? Is that too harsh? Does that make sense? Okay, you know what I mean? It's not, and again, that's actually encouraging news. I would want someone to tell me like, whoa, little man. Like, that's what my mom was trying to do for me, but she did it in her own Asian-y way.
They're parents.
Yeah, they're
parents. Are parents.
But,
I understand.
But you know what I mean? You know,
it's funny because like there was a girl that sent me a demo one time. She goes, oh, can you listen to my demo? Can you listen? And like I told her the truth. I said, where did you record this? Oh, well, it was in my car. I'm like, whoa, okay. First of all, no, you know, and like I told her, you know, like what she had to do. I'm like, you have no music or anything. You recorded this on a microphone on a box in your car. I'm like, no, this way. So I'm not gonna like be like, oh, this is a great demo. Just do this and tweak it. Like I've actually told people like this is a really, really awesome demo, or like, no, this is really, really bad. Like, I'm not trying to be mean.
They need to know that.
And because it's like, if you send this out professionally, you're not gonna get anything.
And that's your business card, that's your calling card, that's your one shot in front of a producer, is they're gonna pop in. I do it all the time. People send me demos, and because I'm directing 3 shows right now. They send me a demo, I'll listen to that demo, and if the quality is not where it needs to be, if the cut isn't where it needs to be, if the energy isn't where it needs to be, it goes away. Because there are hundreds that come in, and we have time to listen to about 15 seconds of one. If there's one that gets me through the full 60, that's someone I'm bringing in. And also, it's like, if you want this career where you are recognized on an international level, where you are working on things so you can become a household name, why would you put this much effort into it? Why would you record it in a car on subpar equipment with no music and no guidance?
I was like,
but you're like, that's my best. What you're saying is, that's my best. Here's my best. Instead of getting a studio, getting an engineer, getting top quality gear, etc., and all that kind of stuff. So I think that all that is in an effort to tell people that, like, yes, follow your dreams, but also plan. Plan is the main thing. It's all it is about plan. So what I did when I wanted to decide what I was going to do with my life, I made a 1-year, 5-year, 10-year plan. And I wrote down things. This is what I tell people that don't know what they want to do. Write down all the things you like to do and start to see if there's a correlation. Okay, I like being in front of people. Okay. I like talking, and I'm gregarious. Okay, I'm good on stage, and so you start to see, okay, what's the correlation? Public speaking, actor. So you start to see that, and then you may uncover, like Indiana Jones, like, oh my gosh, I like this thing, or whatever. I don't know, you know. So that's that's Uncle Todd's advice.
Uncle Todd's career.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure sure there's a parent in here that's like, you just destroyed my son. Like, no, not at all, not at all. I'm the biggest, but then on the same token, it's like I come from miracles. That's what I always say when people are like, you can't accomplish that. I'm like, I fucking come from miracles. And I'll tell you why, because my mom came over to this country with $20 in her pocket. She didn't speak English. And she worked in a sweatshop. She had nothing but $20, and she's this tiny little woman. And then she's been retired now for 5 years as one of the top doctors in this country. And it's because she paid her own way through medical school, so she comes from miracles. So that could also happen.
That's awesome.
So then that could completely negate everything I just said. But you know what I mean. I think it's really about following your true passion. I think it's about seeing why you really want to do something. Because there are some people that want to be voice actors only because they want to to conventions. That is true. That is true.
You're right,
and it's like when they're like, "Wow, I have to record 7 days a week, 15 hours a day. That's hard.
I have to make a demo. What does that mean?
I don't want to do that. I thought I was just going to go to a con." And so that's the other thing that's tricky too. Is I think a lot of people think that when we do voiceover, we're like, oh man, you get to do it in your pajamas all day. And you wake up, you do some voiceover, and then you go on the golf course all day long. And now, granted, last week I did tweet how I did record in my underwear. But you have to think about the context. I was recording at 6:30 in the morning at the beginning of a 14-hour day. And I did record in my underwear, but that's my studio. I can do what I want in my studio. That's not the worst thing I've done.
I don't want to know.
Just to give you an example, I've also eaten in my booth.
That's
what I meant.
Yeah, okay. Sure.